really affects you is your company may decide to purchase a cheaper healthcare plan. And I don't think a lot of people saw that. Like, a lot of people are like freaking out like they're going to be without healthcare and all this other stuff. But if you have a regular job and you get healthcare through your job, you're still going to be covered. But your coverage might change. And your company might say, hey, look, we don't want to take care of dental anymore. Like, you're going to have to come out of pocket with dental. You got bad teeth? Sorry for you. But we'll cover everything else. But anyway, now that this has gotten past the House, did you hear Bernie Sanders talk about it?
Shout out to the Joe, fact checker.
What did he say?
I heard about, no, he was just saying, Alf can do my laundry over there too.
That's dope. But yeah, so Bernie Sanders, bro, did you hear what he said? He's like, we don't want to clog any toilets around here. But, I mean, this is going straight in the toilet. It's like, all right, cool. So that's pretty much how that gets looked at. Because John McCain said, how is it that you can pass a bill
without reading it?
Without reading it, and before the Congressional Budget Office says, hey, this is how much it's going to cost, and this is the effects. They were this lets you know that it was pushed. It was pushed. And the only reason that this bill got pushed through, it's not for the American people. It's for a political win.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. And when you look at it, and I've heard so many different things about this all week long. Some people say, oh, well, it's Trump. Some people say, no, it's not Trump. It's the White House. It's his team. They can't. It's been over 100 days, and they can't pass any legislation. God, I'm killing that word.
You have to go home and practice that one.
Legislation. They can't pass any legislation through the House or through Congress.
Well, the main reason why they're trying to force it through is because they want to get
the tax reform.
Yeah, they want to get tax reform.
But
you can't start tax reform until you have the cost and what everything is going to be for healthcare.
So if you don't wait for the Congressional Budget Office to tell you how much everything is going to cost, what are you doing?
Exactly.
What are you doing? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, which is why I totally agree with John McCain when he was like, look, I don't know what they're doing in the House. I don't know how they're doing it, but we're going to wait and see.
He's like, we need numbers.
Yeah, we're going to wait and see how this affects everything. And then what they're going to end up doing is they're going to end up reforming the whole bill. Now, here's a civics lesson. When you reform a bill,
guess what?
It goes back to the House.
Yep.
And guess what? They're going to be like, hey, you know what? This isn't even what we sent to you guys. So this is about to die again. And if it does pass, here's the thing. Democrats already said no. You can get through the House because you have a majority. In the Senate, you have to have at least 60 out of 100. There's only 52 Republicans, which means you have to get an entire party that said, no, we're not going to do it. You have to get at least 8 people to be like, okay, cool, we'll do it. The whole party said they're not going to do it. So now you got to find 8 people who are like, yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, but all that's going to be is just throw money at people.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that lets the American people know that if this thing passes, that's what happened. That's what happened. It's just the whole thing is bad, man.
That's why I cannot stand two-party system.
Yeah.
Because this is the result of a two-party system.
Yeah. But the thing is that there's so many, there's people have become ideologues. People are so entrenched in their party that they've just completely forgotten. That's why I like the moderates. If you know the moderate Republicans, the independent people, and then the moderate Democrats. Those are the people that are more towards the center. Those are the people that are like, hey, look, if we just talk to these guys, we can get this done. But then you got the people on the far sides of both sides that are like, no, we're not doing it because they said they're going to do this. The whole rest of the bill is good, but they have one thing they don't want to do. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. So, anyway.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
Healthcare is going to be done.
And if you actually look at what they pushed through, God.
Yeah.
They're like, listen, no more pre-existing conditions. And on top of that, we're going to add a bunch of pre-existing conditions that we're going to have to pay more for.
Here's the thing. They say if you're not covered for 63 days, you're going to have to pay at least 30%. You're going to have to pay a 30% surcharge, which could be up to $5,000 just to get back into the system. If you had coverage and your coverage lapsed for 63 days, this is what they put in for 63 days. That's 2 months.
Yep.
If you don't have insurance coverage for 2 months, you're going to have to pay up to 5 times, it's 30%, which is, like I said, up to $5,000. It can be up to $5,000 just depending on what type of coverage you have. That's ridiculous. That makes no sense, bro. That makes no sense.
Yeah, I know, man. It's, as I said, it's been driving me crazy, and I just like trying to kind of tuned off for a little bit.
Yeah. How about knowing that nobody read it?
Yeah, no, that's the worst part. They don't read it. They don't care.
It just said, "Hey, look, this is what we're trying to pass through." You know what though? I'm getting the feeling that Republicans, at least Republicans and people in the House, said, "Hey, look, we got other stuff to do. We know this is going to die in the Senate." They know it's going to die in the Senate. They were like, "Hey, look, you guys want to pass the healthcare bill? It'll help the president." I feel somebody said that.
Yeah,
it'll help.
That's all.
It'll help the president. And they're like, "All right, he's Republican. Cool, we'll pass it." And then they're thinking in their minds, "This is going to die in the Senate anyway." It just looks good.
And then all they're
going to
do is blame the senators. So it's going to be just.
It's always somebody else's fault.
Exactly.
It's always somebody else's fault, man. But I digress. The judicial system. I don't know what's really happening in the court system, man. I don't think too much is happening besides they were talking about, I guess they're still they're protesting about what was it, Alton Sterling? Remember the guy that got shot?
With the CDs?
With the CDs?
Yeah.
They got off.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean I don't want to say it like that, but
Trump said that from the beginning.
They got off.
He said, "Listen, we're no longer going to prosecute or even go after,
Exactly.
So it's like all this. It seems like they're just trying to start a problem.
Bro, it's divide and conquer. Like I feel like the only nation. It's funny when you look around the rest of the world. I think the only nation that's really like destabilized is like us and France. We're like the only ones, because if you look at America, we're not getting anything done.
No, not at all.
We're not, bro.
They're just sitting around waiting for World War III to break out.
Yeah, but what are we gonna do? Because I guess you know what? That was the only thing that galvanized.
Oh, that's another. This is the reason why. Matter of fact, he got a D-. I'm changing my score. I'm changing my grade. He got a D- for the whole. Let's just let the government shut down.
Yeah. Oh, and in September, maybe it'll be good if it shuts down.
Maybe it'll be good if the government just shuts down. Maybe that's what we need. This is what he said.
Yeah.
We need a good shutdown.
Yeah, what's a good shutdown?
I have no idea.
What is a good shutdown? Has he not lived here? He was here when the government shut down. We went through the last episode about how bad it is for the government to be shut down. And to come out of your mouth, to hear out of your president's mouth, maybe
we need a good shutdown.
No, we don't need a good shutdown. But you know what? I don't know, man. I don't know. He's putting that type of stuff out there. He's putting that type of language, that type of everything out there, man. And it's just, I want him to do better. That's my whole thing, man. I want him to do better. And I want people who supported him to stop defending the candidate and start looking at what he's doing. Because everybody I've talked to who is a Trump supporter is defending the candidate.
Yeah. And they're blindly defending the candidate.
Stop defending the candidate. Look at what's going on and say, "Hey, look, this isn't good. This isn't good. What you voted in, none of it's happened for you. None of it's happened for you. The jobs, no. Unless you have specialized skills, that hasn't happened for you. Healthcare, that hasn't happened for you. The wall, the travel ban, the immigration laws, none of it's happened for you."
But they're saying he kept his promises.
That was a whole rally too.
Yeah.
Had a whole rally. Promises made, promises kept. No. Sorry. Didn't happen. Now, we're gonna move out of the government. Let's move to television. Because something happened on Monday, and apparently it got people's goats. Stephen Colbert, who I absolutely love. I like Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Stephen Colbert decided to say that, and they beeped it on CBS.
Oh yeah,
They edited it on CBS. But what he said was that Trump's mouth is Vladimir Putin's cock holster.
Yep.
That's what he said. And everybody was like, wow, this dude he's so out of line. Stop it. I mean, that's pretty much all I can say. Stop it. Stephen Colbert is a political insult comic. He's not a political commentator. He's not a senator. He's none of this. He was on The Daily Show as a political, funny insult comic.
Exactly.
That's what comics do. So everybody who's tripping about, hey, he shouldn't have said that, I think that was too much for network television. Have y'all never heard some of the stuff George Carlin said back in the day? Some of the stuff Richard Pryor said? Some of the stuff Eddie Murphy said? This stuff, comics all the time talk about presidents. People that do, it's called satire. And it kills me that people can't seem to differentiate political satire from actual commentary. Has it gone there? Where did that come from? Nobody can tell the difference between somebody who's making fun and somebody who's actually commentating. Do you really think that Trump is, doing that to Putin? Because if you do, you're an idiot. You're an absolute idiot.
Yeah.
Like, Colbert.
And it seems like they completely disregarded the campaign.
Yeah.
Where he was just talking shit to everyone.
When he went in
during a debate.
In front of
millions of people.
Millions of people.
But that's okay.
No, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. That's what I mean. And when you have other senators and stuff saying, if this was a senator or somebody who said it, I completely agree with everything everybody's saying.
Yeah.
And be like, you know what? They're right. Because you can't say that. You can't say that. But it's Stephen Colbert. Of course he's going to say that. I mean, come on. Let's get real. Stop all the stuff, because I also heard that, he can't say it because it's a network TV show and there might be kids watching and stuff like that. If your kids are up at 11, because the Colbert, he's on the late show. He comes on at like 11:30 at night.
He comes on
it's like 11:30. Okay, yeah, it's not the late show, but it's a late show. So 11:30 at night. If your kids are up at 11:30, you need to look at your parenting.
Yep.
And you need to say, hey, look, it's not the fact that he's on TV saying this. There shouldn't be kids up at 11:30 watching this show anyway. To watch a comic, and he's a comic. Stop it. Everybody who says, because there were people who were calling, I've been listening to like I said, man, ever since this happened on Monday, I've been listening to other shows and things like that, and people were saying, hey, look, if it was Obama, it would have been a problem. It would have been a problem. But people seem to not understand that this happens to presidents all the time. I said, bro, the Boondocks, and I think it's like season 2. They called Obama a monkey in a nice suit. I'm just saying, they said it on. It was a cartoon because it's satire. They called George W. Bush retarded to his face.
Yep.
Why? I mean, come on. Like, that's what they do. So if you're sitting there getting upset about it, I don't know what to tell you, because you obviously don't know comedy. You don't know comedy. You don't understand satire. You don't understand that particular aspect of it. And I don't want to get on the people who are like, hey, that's not what is it? I guess it's not PC or whatever. But what comic is?
Yeah, but when all of a sudden did they now start caring about being PC? Like, didn't they run the whole thing about America's too PC?
Yeah.
Like, wasn't that the whole campaign? Like, oh, people are too soft and they're always politically correct and I'm not politically... now all of a sudden...
It's too much.
They're not politically correct against the president. It's a problem.
Yeah, now it's a problem.
Don't make no sense, man. You can't just be like, oh, he's talking shit while your president's talking shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't make no sense.
Because I still remember a rally that he did, and there's kids present, and he's like, I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. He said, you can Google that. You can find that YouTube video where he's like, you know what? I'm gonna bomb the shit out of them. They're like, Mr. President, what are you gonna do about? It might have been during one of the debates. It might have been during one of the primaries when they asked him about what he would do with the problem in Afghanistan.